What's going on, gamers? So this video is going to talk about um, why the Xbox Ally X and Ally's prices have not been revealed, and I tell you why. And I want you guys to think about this after we read this paragraph too. I agree with him because it's what I was talking about after seeing, Microsoft jack up the prices again. Basically, I think if they're going to do that for that, they're going to do that for everything. And the original prices that you thought are going up with that, but they just haven't revealed it yet because it's so close to release. But it's just, I think this is going to be more expensive. Reading right here, we got some stuff to look at here. Hang out with me here. If you still can afford it, hey, you can afford it. It's up to you. But macroeconomic conditions were cited for the increase in price of the current Xbox line. Mm-hmm. The same phrase is used a month ago to avoid revealing the price of the Xbox ROG Ally, because they want to call it an Xbox, right? Yeah, that's going to go up too. I foresee the leaked prices being higher at the official reveal, unfortunately. 100% agree. Because like I said, they're raising the price up of everything. And then don't try to hit me with that, oh, well, they're not affected by tariffs. If this is, no, I don't want to hear any of that because that's not the case. They still can do that because they want. Right? Because it's not about tariffs anyways. That's just a damn excuse. So guys, I mean, I hate to break it to you, they're probably looking forward to even getting it at that price and we're still on the fence. I think it's going to be more expensive. I think this regular Ally will be $600 or whatever. And that may be like $950, $1,000 over here. Something like that. Could it be more possibly? Man, you never know. And I just, I can't see myself recommending this. Now, I'm not going to tell nobody not to buy it because you can do what you want with your own money. But personally, yeah, I don't know. Now, are we ready for some more clarification? Because this is going to get interesting on why you don't want to also buy this one over that one and why the more expensive one is actually a lot better. You'd be better off going for an OLED Steam Deck or Switch 2, obviously, which, you're going to have that most likely anyways. This is probably just be a supplementary device for your PC aspect with the Xbox. So going over, don't buy the base ROG Xbox Ally. Buy the X or Steam Deck instead. This is where things get interesting. Chaz from PS right here says, 2 models of the ROG Xbox Ally are going to be hitting store shelves in just under a month. So which variant should you buy? Well, looking at each of their prices and specs, I think the answer is pretty clear. All right, it gets interesting. Are we ready? So going over to this article, we're a little under a month away from the Asus and Xbox's much anticipated duo of gaming handhelds. One of the biggest concerns, however, has been whether the two companies will be able to compete in an increasingly saturated market, particularly when it comes to the cost of these devices. Considering rising component costs within the PC market, recently leaked specs put the base ROG Ally at $549 on the surface, but that was before Microsoft said they wanted to jack up the prices along with everything else that's associated with them. That's why I say probably $600 now, if that's the case. On the surface, it seems like a decent price tag for a new handheld from Xbox and Asus. However, on further inspection, buyers must be better off putting their 5 Benjamins towards other alternatives at the same price point or saving up for the X variant, which is far more competitively priced when considering its specs. This is where things get interesting. I'm going to zoom in for you guys. The case by case, or the case against the base Xbox Ally. The base Xbox Ally comes equipped with the AMD Ryzen Z2A, which is a chip that is not only far less powerful than the Z2 Extreme, which powers the X variant, but also less capable than even the Z1 Extreme chip, which powers older handhelds like the non-Xbox Ally X. What? Oh boy. According to the leaker who reported the video games .com a few months ago, the Z2A is actually based on the Steam Deck APU. So in 2025, they're using the Steam Deck APU CPU for that handheld. Which then begs the question, why not just get a Steam Deck? Or OLED, or... Yeah, I don't know, man. that's just making the X model look like the only attractive model. But what if that goes up to 1,000 or 949 or whatever? Either way, you're paying over 1,000 with tax or whatever. So this is just a realistic outlook on what this is going to be. I'm kind of disappointed in this. This means that the Switch 2 is going to be outperforming this thing in cases, which could be possible with DLSS. Because it already beat the Steam Deck in a lot of things, with docked or whatever. Oh man. And if this goes up to 600, yeah, I don't know what to say. The OLED version can often be found for the same price, if not cheaper. You'll still get 16 gigabytes of RAM on an OLED screen, the same amount of storage, comparable performance, and a slightly larger and better screen with OLED. Yes, the resolution is lower, but honestly, at the screen size, it's not that big of a deal. Agreed. And not to mention Steam OS, where you can get a used non-Xbox Ally X, which you can often find for around 600. That's what I'm telling you, that you can get them around that. People just don't buy them because they don't want them. Which will give you better performance than the 549 one. I just think there are better options from older PC handhelds to even the Switch 2. I'm giving you guys a heads up on what the hell this thing is going to be so you can know and not think that if you were getting that, you'd be like, oh yeah, this is going to be more powerful than the Switch 2. Not necessarily. Remember, that's the only thing. That thing can go docked. So remember, I'm not beating down anything. This is just a realistic point of view, y'all. The case for the Xbox Ally X. All right, we ready? Right now, the top of the line model for the Xbox's upcoming gaming handheld is leaked to cost $900. Or with everything else going up by $50, $70, and $100, might be $949. Is a lot to ask for. Well, honestly, anything. However, in my opinion, for what you're getting and relative to the competition, I'd say it's pretty good. So that's what he says. You get 24 gigabytes of RAM. That is pretty good. A terabyte of storage, 7-inch 120 hertz, 1080p display with VRR, and an 80 watt battery. My only thing is I would have preferred them to go for like a bigger screen, even if it's a little bit weaker specs. But you know, that's just me though. This is still, you know, nice stuff. The latest AMD's Z2 Extreme chip. Combine all that with an ugly but hopefully very economic grip and with Microsoft's much anticipated Xbox OS, and this new Ally X looks to be a great machine. And at $899, you're going to be hard pressed to find any other handheld with comparable specs. If that's going to be the price, and haven't even jacked it up even farther, which is already too expensive. I don't care what he says. To me, that's no. I wouldn't pay that much for that. I love my MSI Claw 8 AI Plus. And in some ways, it's even better than the Xbox Ally X, but it costs $100 more, sometimes $200 or $300 depending on where you live. And I won't even start with the Lenovo Legion Go 2, MSI's new A8, which we've seen how more expensive that thing is. Maybe the X's biggest competition at its price and specs look to be quite similar. But MSI are notorious for having supply issues, so availability may lean on Microsoft's side here. I don't really see anything as somehow necessarily being somehow of a competition when you're not really selling. It's just really, are you going to be interested in their product or not? It's not going to be that much. We'll have to wait and see how these handhelds actually perform. But for now, we know right now the X may be the variant to go for. Or you can be like me and continue playing Sly Scooper 2 on the PlayStation Vita because you just want to have a good handheld experience, which is kind of the point. But all in all, we're kind of getting an idea here about these two handhelds coming and why this is X'd out and why you might want to avoid it. Now, we're not saying to not get this. We're saying that think about this and think about other options. Now, if you still want to get it because it's still affordable and you're like, oh, this is not that bad still, I'm going to go for it. Hey, go ahead. I'm not beating that down. What I'm doing is I'm giving you guys just that mental clarity about what you're really getting here, what you're dealing with. Now you can decide how you want to react, positive or negative, or you don't care, whatever. And Pony's coming in here, sit down, because I know you guys are in here. PlayStation gamers, you know, stay cool. Xbox gamers, you know, yeah, we're just doing a little entertainment over here. But all in all, it's always good to look forward to new devices. I still look forward to seeing how they're going to perform. We're going to be doing a lot of comparisons. You better get ready for that Switch 2 comparison. You're going to be getting highlighted against Nintendo. You know, a lot of people are talking mess. And yeah, it's about to go down. Not nothing against the Xbox community, but just certain individuals. You know, guys, that's just going to happen. Digital Foundry videos, you know how things go. Like I said, it's going to be fun. But all in all, hopefully this turns out well and you guys get a good handheld experience, and the cloud stuff ends up being fine, and there's not that many problems at launch. We'll see. But let me know what you guys think about this. Are you on the fence? Do you want to buy this? Or are you content with what you have? Later, y'all. Peace.